Hello, my name is Edgar Sanchez Ortiz. I am from Mexico and I have been studying an MBA in EU Business School for around 6 months now. First of all, the first thing I knew it was that I wanted to study in Europe. One of my goals was to be able to live for some time abroad, and Europe was the place that pulled me the most. So then I understood what I wanted Europe, and then I found EU Business School. I wanted not only a school that had a lot of experience, a lot of baggage, but also I wanted a school that had the possibility for me to study maybe in different places, to change or maybe add studies in different campuses. And also that had the program I was looking for, which was one of the most important things for me. Therefore, I found EU Business School, and I decided in Germany of all the campuses because I wanted to be challenged. And I think learning a language for me is another key challenge. And English I know, Spanish of course I know as well, and French I know as well too. So I thought the best next thing was German, and also I wanted to challenge myself, to push myself into a culture that I think, speaking really broadly, it's really different from the Mexican culture. So I wanted to have this shock for me to gather and attain the differences and learn the way of life from this culture, so I could have a different perspective and attain this little and understand rather these little differences that I do think they make the difference in terms of business, in terms of way of life, and in terms of thinking. That was the main goal that I wanted to achieve here, being in Munich. I decided for Munich because for me the language was also a challenge. I wanted to learn German as well, and learning German means learning about the culture, understanding and making myself to attain a new language, a new challenge. For me, that was the main thing. Also the way how Germans do things. Everybody in the world knows that Germans know a lot about quality, about order, and I think that helps complement the way I do things. So that's why I wanted to come to Germany. The university has these classes that it gives free of charge, which I think is a plus, and I think they're needed in order for you to get acquainted to the culture and everything else here in Germany. And I'm doing also my studies from on the side with the Deutsch school here in Germany that I'm taking. You can take classes online or go to a campus. But for me, being able to speak German fluently is not only something required, but it helps you understand the culture as well, and it's easier for you to get integrated into the culture, in order to be able not only to express yourself and understand, but also to create a network connection from people from here. That doesn't mean that you need to, in order for you to connect with people, because everybody here speaks English, but I was speaking about myself. I think for me and my personal background and experience, that learning the language can also help you understand a lot about a culture, right? So I think sometimes it's easier just to approach people, and then if you're not feeling comfortable, maybe change to English. Here everybody speaks English, and it's not a barrier, but it opens doors definitely. I think I gained a lot of international perspective and how things are all interconnected. Everything moves faster, and digital is one of the key things that COVID, for example, pushed even to a faster evolution. I got to understand why do we need to be really fast in terms of how we react to these kind of things, how digital can make us get closer to our business partners or to our customers, and how can we fix things that by that time we were fumbling with. and that made me understand that this key that I'm learning right now, this tool rather that I'm learning, this tool that I'm learning right now is key to drive businesses, and it's gonna be even more important in the future. First of all, when you come to live here in Munich, as I mentioned before, getting to know a little bit of language will help you avoid some obstacles while traveling in the subway and whatnot. But I think that one of the most important aspects here is the living situation, which where I think I'm very lucky because I'm living in a place that is really well centered from everything, really near to school. And I live with roommates that they all come from different international backgrounds, and I think that's super important for you to understand their cultures as well, and you don't find yourself talking about only business, but also getting to know how they live, what do they eat, the way they communicate, how do they get things through, and that also applies for you to make a change and understand where the things, when you're talking in a business perspective, where the things come from, and then you can get to understand what that they're trying to tell you because of these all cultural differences, and how can you understand them and apply them in a different business perspective. So I think not also studying but living internationally helps you even understand a little bit more, and I'm of the idea that traveling changes. So coming here to live in Munich has already changed me a lot in terms not only in business but in the way I do things, and I think that's key for me to keep growing professionally. My roommates, they are already working, or they're studying different things. They have different ages, and I think that helps you add to the mix, right, in a positive way. And also that one of the good things that you're gonna have clashes with them, and I think that's good as well, because you start learning how to deal with this kind of thing. It's a negotiation outside of home, outside of business rather, right? And I think this also helps you not only understand how to deal with things outside of a business setting, but also helps you understand why they do things, why do they do the things like how do they do the things that they do, and how can you get into a middle win-win situation, and that you can translate it to the business setting, because it helps you in negotiation. How can I get this, and how can they get this, and meet in a middle point where we both win, and that can be applied as well into a business setting as well, in a negotiation with a customer, with a client. How can both gain from the thing that both are trying to attain? So different cultures, different ages, different perspectives enrich your way of thinking, enrich the way of life that you're having, and enrich the knowledge that you have in order for you to keep growing, not only professionally but personally as well. First of all, I think Mexican culture can be, broadly speaking, can be benefited by we used to be, I mean, a lot of people might know that us Mexicans, we like to say 1 hour and arrive in a different hour, and everybody knows that. It's so cultural that you're not expecting people to arrive at the time you just said, so you just arrive later than you said, because you know that's what is expected. And here in Germany, it's just the opposite. So I think this kind of thing can be beneficial to Mexican culture, because it also goes into the business side. So for example, you could be waiting for somebody at 5 p.m. and they might arrive 5:10, and that's you might consider that that's okay, generally speaking, right? Because that's not the 100% of the people in business, but sometimes it is expected, right? And what I have learned right now and understood about the culture is that here 5 means 5. And I think that's really important because that also shows respect for your time and makes you it's easier for you to plan, because you know if you're gonna start a meeting at 5, you're gonna end at 6, and at 6 you may be going to someplace else, and you can plan your time around and not have delays with anything else. That could be one of the most important. And the other one, coming from Mexico to here, I think it's one of the things that I've been finding with people from here actually, is that we are always doing things at random, and it gives spice, right? I might say random, and it's a broad word, but for example, I'm understanding that here they plan everything, like going out to eat and everything else is like really planned and really almost set on stone. For example, for us, we try to do things as they come up in this kind of way. So some things are really unexpected in the day, and they enrich things. And this applies also into business, thinking a little bit broader, outside of the box, bringing things that you think that might work. I mean, not everything works or everything sticks out, but the things that do get stuck into the idea and make things move forward can make these decisions that might be really like set in stone and really like I might say with a really with a really built structure, like they can be moved around. I understand, for example, things in some areas need to be with order, that's a must, but in business sometimes in negotiation you can move things a little bit around to make them work. So I think that kind of innovation, or let's say or outside of the box way of thinking, can bring something new to the table. What I want to do, I want to start working here in Germany to gather a little bit of experience, international experience, to understand how things are done here, applying the language, applying the new things I've learned already, to make my professional background even richer, and try to also gather the most amount of experience into this field in an international landscape, can get me to have even more skills and tools to be able to focus and be able to achieve the goals that I'm looking for in the future.